Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle the sometimes baffling, often overwhelming world of a child's emotions. And we're going to do it using a really simple but powerful idea I like to call the emotional staircase. Think of it as our map for understanding how kids learn to handle all those huge feelings, and more importantly, how we can help them climb step by step. So let's start with a scene that I'm sure sounds familiar. You say no to another cookie, or their favorite toy gets a tiny crack, and suddenly it's a full-blown world-ending meltdown. We've all been there, right? And you ask yourself, why? Well, the answer isn't because they're being naughty or overly dramatic. It all comes down to where they are on their developmental journey. And that brings us to probably the single most important idea we're going to talk about. Emotional control is not a personality trait. A child isn't just born calm or born angry. It is 100% a learned skill, something they have to practice and build over time, just like learning to read or ride a bike. No one gets it perfect on the first try. Okay, so what do we actually mean by emotional control? Well, it's definitely not about stuffing feelings down or pretending they don't exist. It's more like a three-part process. First, you recognize the feeling. Wow, I am really angry right now. Then comes the superpower, the pause. That tiny little space between the feeling and the reaction. Because in that pause, you get to choose how you respond, instead of just letting the emotion take over. So, let's start our climb at the very bottom of the staircase. We're in the foundation years now, talking about 4- and 5-year-olds. This is where the absolute bedrock of emotional skills gets put into place. And spoiler alert, they need a ton of help from us. At this age, a feeling isn't just a feeling. It's a tidal wave that completely takes over their whole body. Seriously, a 4-year-old often can't tell the difference between being sad, hungry, or just tired. It all just feels bad. They literally don't have the brain wiring yet to calm themselves down. They need us to be their calm, to lend them our steady presence. That's something called co-regulation, and it is absolutely everything at this stage. And this quote, it just perfectly sums up their whole inner world, doesn't it? I'm mad, and I don't know why. The emotion is huge, it's real, but the reason for it is a total mystery to them. It's like being caught in a storm without a compass. You know you're being tossed around, but you have no idea which way is up. All right, let's take the next step up. We're moving into the 5 to 7-year-old range. And this is a huge step, because now they're getting their hands on one of the most powerful tools for emotional management there is: language. So now they can start to put a name to those tidal waves. Happy, sad, angry. And just being able to label the feeling gives them a little bit of power over it. It tames the chaos. They're also starting to connect the dots, and this is big. They're starting to realize that other people have feelings too. This is the very beginning of empathy, and it is a massive leap forward. Just listen to the difference. A couple of years ago, it was, I'm mad and I don't know why. Now we get this. I'm feeling frustrated, a more specific word, because my tower fell down. We've got the feeling and we've got the cause. Now, they still need our help to manage it, for sure, but being able to explain their inner world like this, that is a total game changer. Okay, climbing higher on our staircase, we're now heading the 7 to 11 age range. This is where you really start to see more complex skills and a real sense of emotional independence starting to blossom. At this stage, their emotional dictionary just explodes. They're using more nuanced words like disappointed, worried, proud. But here's the really cool part. Their brain is developing to the point where they can start problem solving. So instead of just getting swamped by feeling, a part of their brain starts asking, okay, this is frustrating, what can I do about it? They can even start to see things from a friend's perspective. It's a huge cognitive leap. You know, nothing illustrates this whole journey better than this simple act of losing a board game. At age 5, the reaction is all external. It's crying, yelling, blaming the rules, maybe even flipping the board. The feeling comes out physically. But look at age 10. The disappointment is still there, absolutely, but the reaction is internal. They can manage it, they can say good game, and they can even start thinking about a new strategy for next time. That is the emotional staircase in action. So seeing that amazing progress makes you wonder, right? How can we help them build those steps? Well, that's exactly where we're headed. Let's open up the toolbox and look at some real practical things we can do to support them. Okay, one of my favorite tools ever, the Calm Down Corner. Now, let's be super clear, this is not a timeout spot for punishment. Think of it more like a cozy little charging station for their emotions, a safe place they can choose to go when things feel too big. And the real secret sauce here is that you introduce it when everyone is happy and calm. You name it together, you make it a positive space for recharging, not a place for shame. The words we use are so powerful. Just look at the pattern here. The phrases on the left all send the same message. Your feeling is wrong. Stop feeling that. They dismiss the emotion. But the phrases on the right, they do the complete opposite. They validate the feeling. Saying, I can see you're very upset, doesn't mean you approve of the tantrum. It just means you see their feeling, and you're acknowledging that it's real for them. That one simple shift can change everything. So, we've made our way up all the steps of the staircase. We've seen how kids grow and change. Let's take a moment to really boil it all down to the most important things to remember. If you only take away 3 things from our time together, let it be these. Number 1, this is a skill you teach, not a behavior you're born with. Number 2, this is not a race. Every single child climbs these stairs at their own pace, and our job is to meet them where they are. And number 3, and this one is so important, you are an emotional coach, not an emotional fixer. Your job is to guide them through the feelings, not to make the feelings disappear. And so I'll leave you with a final thought to take with you. Looking ahead at your day, what's one small change, just one little thing you can do to be that emotional coach for the child in your life? Maybe it's just trying out one of those helpful phrases we looked at. Or maybe it's just finding a couple of pillows to start a cozy corner. Whatever it is, just remember that the whole journey up that emotional staircase always begins with one small step. Thanks for climbing with me today.